Bank is in studio with us, and he walked in with a pep in his step, and he has some stories he wants to share with us, and these are great stories for you to tell.
Well, because this show is one of them, which is kind of interesting to share with your audience. It's a couple that she is from Thailand, he's from Laos. They're entrepreneurs. They work long hours, and they bought a lot at another bank a month ago.
Okay.
Then he watches your show. He'll be watching now. He doesn't know I'm going to talk about it.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
So they got turned down for their house after they got approved for their lot and have already bought their lot. And they
Why
called,
would they get turned down if they were given a loan?
Exactly.
Why did they get turned down when they had a first loan? I guess it's, what do you call a doctor that graduates last in his class? Doctor,
yeah.
So the limitations on what people do in our industry are great, and the knowledge base should be harder. There should be more restrictions. They didn't adequately look at their tax returns for their add-back depreciation, which made them easily qualify for the loan.
Okay.
And they walked them out the door.
They walked them out?
Say, I'm sorry, we can't help you. I don't know what you'll do with
But
the
they'd
lot.
already purchased
A lot.
a lot.
So they were now going to own ground with no house on it.
Oh my goodness. So when you stepped in, what did you have to go about doing that?
I just asked them to bring the same information they brought, because maybe they didn't have the right information, so I wouldn't be upset with my competitor. They had it all. They just didn't do the taxes.
I was going to say, so what didn't they do, or what were you
did-
able to do?
We do an analysis correctly on what the tax returns are, just like a CPA does. And
Okay.
we have that ability with in-house underwriting to verify it. They not only qualified, they qualified easily. And they were in a type of a loan that didn't even exist for their income bracket, and the other lender turned them down. We put them in the right loan, which is what I've been saying, is that so many loans aren't the right ones.
Right.
They're the best one for the lender, not the best one for the client.
Right.
And our community bank lives on client referrals by taking care of the client first, and it really showed on this particular case.
Now, how long of a process was that when they realized that they were not going to be able to get the hunk of property or the loan, and then they came to you? How long of a process was that?
They got turned down on Tuesday. They told the builder they couldn't build it. Then he said, I do watch your show, great day. And then they end up coming and calling me. They came in, and it was less than a half hour to approve them.
Are you kidding?
No, it's 30 minutes.
Wow. And the benefits of dealing with a person face to face.
Well, it's so big. You can't do it on the phone, and you can't do it with an entry-level person, because the construction loan process is treated like an incidental thing to most lenders, and to us, it's our base, and it's also the biggest thing in most people's lives, their house.
Wow.
Well, good.
Okay. Well, you have a couple
Good.
more stories that you wanted to share.
But that was
this
a great one.
That was an
was
awesome
huge.
story. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one with the information, so.
Another one that came in was a save that I think most big banks would have never noticed. We have a client building a nice home with one of my K&V builders, one of my big houses.
Okay.
And they had sold their house and had a $309,000 check that was supposed to be wired to them. So we're waiting for the wire. It doesn't come in at 2 o'clock, so we check the next day. At noon, I get the notice we didn't get paid. We get on it right away, call the law firm, because they just don't understand when you're doing, law firms that do a little bit of business don't have the same credibility as one that does it every day, that has people assigned to it.
Right.
We followed the wire. Someone had changed the email on the client by one letter and had the money wired to a fraudulent corporation in Florida. If we would not have been involved that day at that time, the money would have disappeared, and no one would have been, it would have been forever trying to get it back, maybe never.
But this is the kind of things that you guys watch out
Well,
for
because
and pay
we're
attention
small
to.
and we understand. It never occurred to me. This was the first time I called it, so I called 3 law firms I know, and all of them have had attempts on them in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Where like you might have your email, and they know you're doing a transaction because it's
Right.
public, your house is being sold. Then they get your email, they send one letter different and say, by the way, I'm having trouble with my bank today. Would you please send it to my company account instead? Here it is. Well, then they're smart sometimes, so they respond rather than go back to look for the original email, and they get the information, and they think they got it from the client.
right person, yeah.
And it wasn't. It was one letter difference, and it was a fraudulent company in Florida.
Unreal.
Wow.
Hollywood, Florida, actually.
Really.
All
And so
right.
another reason to get with a
Stay
bank
local.
that knows what's
Stay
going
local
on.
that does this for a living, not do it as a sideline, not does
Right.
it as a sideline, because that's the biggest issue. And the third one was the HECM that we were talking about. Well, we have a client moving into town, and one of the financial planners I work with called me because his son works for the financial planner. He is also a financial planner on his way up to buy out the firm, right? So the father didn't want to he was going to pay as much down as he could, so he'd have small payments. When he got down with the HECM, he's a very happy camper because now he can keep a second house and still have his other house, and moved into a very nice home with only 50% down. So
There you go. And
those programs happen right here.
But the HECM loans that we talked about here are really eye-opening, aren't they?
Well,
And remind everybody,
Yeah,
what
what
is a
that is.
HECM
Well,
loan?
if you're over 62 years old and do not have the ability of independent wealth, but you want to live like you have the same thing you planned all your life, you have the ability to have 50% invested in your house and never make a house payment again. You do have to pay your property taxes and your insurance.
Right.
And you have to do, correctly do that. Don't forget those things. But other than that, it's your house with no payments for life.
It's amazing. It's a heck of a deal.
It is a heck of a deal.
And we can't say it enough, finding the right loan for the right person and going to the right bank to make sure that
Well,
happens.
we have maybe 60, 70 hours a year I force everybody in my place to study, to do. We take tests, we do everything. We know what's going to happen because it's a moving parade on the financial products and the things out there. And you cannot stay abreast if you're not still in the business every day.
Right.
How many people are in your office?
In my department's about 20 people.
Okay. So it really is a one-on-one situation.
Well, every client that does a loan has to meet personally with one of the 7 loan officers. And all construction loans meet personally with me.
How
All
about
right.
that?
And if people want to meet you, Rick, if they want to meet your staff, how can they do that?
Well, I think the best way is to come out to the bank because we want private meetings, and we're going to make that available at Fidelity Bank. We're across the street on the west side of the mall, on Jordan Creek Mall, and then give us a call at 343-2300. We will make ourselves available.
And FidelityBank.house if you want to learn more about all these wonderful loans that you talk about every single week.
You can see a lot there. Please go there.
Yeah, 343-2300. Still love that phone number.
Yeah.
That's a great number. Great job as always, my
Thank you.
friend.
Thank you very much.
so much. And next week, hopefully, you tell some more great stories.
I'll be out of town, but somebody will be.
Somebody will be here telling us some great stories.
He's on the move.
We will be right back, folks. And when